Well, I was very, very proud of the whole team, and especially our seniors for the way they came out and took care of business in the first half. I told them at halftime we played terrific at both ends of the court, shared the ball, had 10 assists, scored 46 points, and held Boston College to 25, and pretty good field goal percentage defense, both overall and from three. Second half, I thought Boston College did a much better job, and I thought we were not quite as aggressive at either end, and kind of just a good solid effort that we ended up getting the victory. What I did tell the players afterwards is I'm very, very proud of the fact that we went 9-7, the first time in the conference that we had a winning record. We are right now in fourth and cannot. We can be tied by other teams, but it's still, to me, is we finished fourth. No matter where we're seated in the tournament, Duke, North Carolina, and Florida State clearly are 1, 2, and 3 in the league, but we've beaten two of them during the regular season, and we've had great games with all the other teams as well. So I think for us, whoever we play in the ACC tournament, I think it should be a very hard-fought contest, and we know the other team will be well prepared. They're very well coached, and hopefully our guys will be able to pull together and have a great weekend in Atlanta.
Talk about transitioning from today's kind of a celebratory mood.
To what?
A celebratory mood. The seniors, their final game here. And then now to quick turn around back to business for the ACC tournament. How do you get your team focused?
Well, I think they'll do that. Every player on our team knows how important the ACC tournament is. They're all excited about that. They get a day off to rest tomorrow and enjoy today's victory, but on Monday it's back to business.
Jim, do you have an idea, or are you willing to tell us what you have to do at the ACC tournament to assure yourselves of NCAA berth?
We got to win the tournament, and you don't get an at-large bid. You get an automatic. No one can take that away from you if you win the tournament. And you have 12 teams who are going to fight very hard for that opportunity.
Do you pull out any special motivational out of your magic bag of tricks? Something special for the ACC tournament?
Not yet. And I don't know with this team if it's necessary. I think one of my observations, and everybody who has seen us play on a consistent basis, is since Reggie and DJ joined and were available to us, been pretty steady. Not necessarily shooting the ball, but being in the games and playing pretty hard. In a tournament play, you got to play hard and you got to play well. And that means you got to play great defense, you got to rebound, you got to shoot the ball well. And there's no telling as a coach, if your team will do that. But I think we'll really try. I think the effort will be there.
For Malcolm to come out, obviously he was emotional before the game. For him to steady himself and have the game that he did, how important was that?
Yeah, he mentioned I sent him an email last night. One of the most important things is relaxing and not feeling stress, not putting so much pressure on yourself. So I sent him a little clip from things I've read, and one of it said that stress is relieved when you smile. And so I sent him that, and hopefully he was smiling a lot today and relaxed and enjoying the moment.
Jim, from a perception standpoint, you and NC State could be called kind of swing teams as far as the tournament hopes. ACC getting 4 teams or 6 teams in the tournament. Perception-wise, how?
Here's the way I look at that. I think the history, especially in the last 5 or 6 years, of the selection process has been the selection committee has rewarded teams who play a demanding schedule. And the last I look, I don't know if it's the most updated, our non-conference schedule was like 32nd in the country. and I think NC State's was like 31, something like that. So for both of us, I wouldn't be shocked if we both made the field, but I know there's a lot of other teams that may have a similar resume that I haven't researched. So I don't know where they would fit in. I look at, say, the Big East, and you have UConn and Seton Hall and South Florida. We're kind of all in that bubble position that, you know, even the last couple of games or so could make a significant difference.
Do you feel that there's some, do you think 20 is a magic number or anything, or do you think?
Wins, you mean? No, I don't think there's a magic number. If there was, there'd be a lot of teams that have won
Right, well, I know
23,
like last year
24,
Boston
25.
College and Virginia Tech had 21 and 22 wins, 9 and 7 in the conference in Indiana.
Yeah, but their
Strength of schedule
was 150.
Boston College was high, Virginia Tech was low.
Well, I don't know which is better. Which is better, high or low?
I mean, a smaller number. Boston College's was a smaller number.
Yeah,
Virginia Tech's.
and I don't know what exactly they were. But what I do know is at the ACC meetings, we talked very seriously about the non-conference strength of schedule as an important factor in the selection process. And last year, I don't know about the history of it, but last year the ACC's non-conference strength of schedule was 16, and this year it's 2. That's a tremendous improvement.
Coach, now that the regular season is concluded, this is your first year here. What are your thoughts about expectations? Have you met them? How your staff has done? How you've done? What you got out of your team, etc.
Yeah, it's interesting. First, I asked my coaches the other day how they feel about being in the ACC, and they all said, just like, I love it. We love the competition. We love that, you know, we're working with our team. When our games are over, like this afternoon, we'll all be tuned in watching games. Everybody's going to be watching the Carolina-Duke game. You know, we're fans of college basketball, and Duke and Carolina are two of the best teams in the country, and they're on national television all the time, and we get a chance not only to watch them, but compete against them. And tomorrow, we'll all be tuned in because of the significance of Clemson at Florida State and NC State at Virginia Tech and Virginia at Maryland. That's 3 road games for them, and in this league, winning on the road is a major challenge. And any one of those teams wins, they've got a 9-7 record just like us, and then depending on who it is will determine your seed. So if Clemson were to win, I think we're still seeded 4th if the other 2 lose. But if NC State or Virginia win, and we're tied with one of those 2 teams, then they get the bye, because the unbalanced schedule, you don't get a chance to play everybody twice. We didn't play Virginia twice this year. We didn't play Clemson twice this year.
Was coaching the ACC something you thought about for a long time, and you're talking about you love the competition? Is it what you expected it was going to be to coach in the? It is.
Oh, yeah.
Is it better? Was anything surprising? Or
well, I was in the ACC for 7 years,
right, as
so
an assistant.
so you know what it's like. You know, we were #1 in the country, at least ranked #1 in the country 4 of those seasons. We went to the Final Four twice. You know every night what it's like. You know you're playing against NBA players. You know, one year, I think it was my 2nd year, we went to the Final Four in '81, and we were going down to Chapel Hill, and their front court was Sam Perkins, James Worthy, and Al Wood. And I'm covering Carolina and doing the scout on them. And I'm telling you, because, well, he's a first-round pick. He's a first-round pick. He's a first-round pick. In fact, they're not just first-round picks. They're like in the lottery. It wasn't a lottery back then. And then all of a sudden we're playing Duke. And they got Mike Jaminski and Gene Banks and Kenny Denard and Jim Spanarkel. He's a pro. He's a pro. He's a pro. And we get ready to play Clemson, and they got Larry Nance and Horace Wyatt and Moose Campbell. He's a pro. He's a pro. He's a pro. And then we're playing Maryland, and they got Albert King and Buck Williams. They just, every team had so many great players that you're looking at it, and every night you know if you don't bring your A game, you're getting beat. Because that other team is really, really good, and you got to be at your best. And it was that way for 7 years. And we had NBA players too, Ralph Sampson and Jeff Lamp and a host of other guys. It just, the level of play is just so high. And this year, you know, you're looking at like all conference, and someone asked me about it. I said, well, you could take like Carolina's starting five. That could be your all-conference team because it's going to be the lottery, right? And you can take, well, who's rookie of the year? Well, that's pretty much a foregone conclusion, you know. And he's a lottery pick. And well, how good is NC State? I don't know. Every one of those guys the other day looked like pros to me. You know, and I'm sure some of our guys get that kind of respect from other teams. So, you know, that's what makes it a great conference. All the games are televised. You know, you get like Florida State. They've had a great year. Leonard Hamilton's done a great job. You look at Tony Bennett, what he's done at Virginia in his third year. Took over a program that was struggling, and this year they've been in the top 25 almost the entire season in the RPI. Very, very good. I don't know if that's high or low, but good.
No matter who or when you play, but how important was it now getting a win, going into a tournament off a win as opposed to?
Well, I would say that a loss today would have been devastating to our guys, to me, to everybody. You know, it's your last home game of the year. We lost on Wednesday, so it's nice to bounce back. But it's over. The regular season is over. What you did during the regular season is history. You really have to know how to play in tournament play. And that is, you got to play very hard and very well. As the opponent that you play, their strategy may be specifically for this one game. And it might change from what you did during the regular season.
These guys have had some good experiences in the tournament, though.
Yeah, I think last year they did a great job in the tournament, didn't they?
Yeah,
And Carolina
rallied
roped
against
that
Virginia.
round.
Yeah, they did. They were very close to Carolina.
Jim, looking at Kenny Kaji, somebody was telling me a month ago they thought he might be the best player on the team, and I thought he might be the best prospect, not necessarily the best player. He might be the best player. What do you think about his development and where he fits in on this team?
Well, I think Kenny has made a nice transition from first spending 2 years at Florida where he wasn't in the rotation to practicing with a different staff last year to making the transition to the new staff and adjusting. Beginning of the year, he was like our five-man, not totally comfortable with being inside. He was a little rusty, too. You know, he hadn't really played much in 2 years. But from averaging 7 points a game to averaging almost 17 a game in conference play, I think he's really shown his shooting ability, and he's getting better defensively. We'd like to see him rebound more. It's his size and strength and jumping ability. You know, he should be averaging probably a double-double.